It's time for another edition of Business Over a Brew with your host, Joan Crawford.
Grab a cup and take a seat. Joe's got stories that can't be beat. From local shops to big town views, it's business over a brew.
Hello, good morning. Here's Joe Crawford with another edition of Business Over a Brew. My guest today is Mr. Mark Landon. He is the president and CEO of Halpin Music Company from Alton, Illinois. And Joe, welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark, so tell us about your background with Halpin Music. How long have you been there, and some of your experiences?
That might take longer than we have our allotted time, so I'll do my best to summarize. I've been with Halpin Music Company in total since 1980, so 45 years. And in my
Almost half a century.
In my role as president, come next week, it'll be 30 years exactly.
On August 1st, correct?
1995, I assume that's the title.
So a major milestone. Are you planning anything special for that?
No, not really.
Maybe they'll come in with a marching band and
I don't know. Someone might surprise me with something, but to me, it'll just be another day probably. But it will be 30 years. And,
congratulations.
I worked for the Halpins prior to that for 15 years and learned everything I know about the music business almost from Clem, who was he and his wife Ann were the principals there for a number of years, and I started working for them as a wet behind the ears, know nothing college student. Some would still accuse me of being a know nothing, but that's a whole nother story. But
I'm an expert in know nothing.
As a part-time clerk, and I delivered pianos, and I did that for a long time, and eventually I was moved upstairs to the office to work in the office, and eventually became vice president. I don't remember what year was that. I think 1989 or something like that. And then the Halpins in the mid 90s made the decision that they were wanting to retire and exit the business. And so from that, there's another gentleman whose name I would be remiss if I didn't mention it, Brock Hermans, who also had worked for the Halpins for a while. They turned the business over to the two of us in 1995. And from that, the rest is, as they say, is history. But we've been, as you know, the last 7 years have been at our location now on Northport Drive, and they're on the highway.
Just off of Homer Adams?
Right.
Beltline for the older generation.
Beltline, I do, yeah. I've been around long enough before it was renamed to know it as the Beltline. So, then we've been there for 7 years, and before that for literally decades. We were at the big building there on the corner at Humbert Corners.
Yeah, that was specially built for Halpins, as I recall.
The Halpins built that building, and it started. Well, I think they moved in 1977. I was a senior in high school at the time, and I
sounds about right.
Vaguely remember that, though I wasn't actively. But and we were there until 2018, and moved it up to Northport, and have been there since. So.
And how's the new location doing for you?
It's worked very well for us.
Advantages?
Advantages, there are numerous. Not the least of which, for my aching knees' sake, there are no steps.
Yes.
So that saves me, numerous trips up and down the stairs. Those massive stairs in the center of the old building. I don't know how many tens of thousands of times I traversed those in the 30s.
Good exercise.
Years,
right?
But, my knees are grateful. We have the space that we need. when we got out of the acoustic piano business in about 10 years ago now, it became kind of obvious that we really didn't need all the space that we had there. And, although we didn't act on that right away, other things happened, and it became apparent that, moving would be a really good idea. I won't get into that story, but we found the space there at Northport, and were able to, in the space of about 30 days time, outfit it, from a vacant space that had been an adult daycare. Anyone who remembers the adult daycare that was there?
I do not.
Addis,
actually.
Addis Adult Daycare was there in that space, and I guess they went out of business, and so it took us. We had to kind of do that in a month's time to outfit it and clean it up and paint it and refixture it and make it ready to use. We did that all in the month of January of 2018, and then moved in early February. But we were busy boys back then for a period of a couple of months. So
you got rid of some of your old inventory from the old store, and
it included having a kind of a blowout clearance at the old location. We don't want to move this stuff, so come buy it. And then in February of 2018, we opened the doors, and we've been going ever since.
Seems like a great location. There's ample parking there.
There is plenty of parking. Parking was always a little bit of an issue at Humbert Corners because there wasn't really enough of it for all of the tenants that were there. But we kind of worked around that and made it work. But plenty of parking where we are, and it's a wonderfully cool place these days. The air conditioners work great, and I'm very thankful to be in a cool air-conditioned office during these brutal summer days.
Aren't we all?
Indeed.
As I found out this morning trying to mow the lawn a little. And so you came up through the Alton community?
Well,
through Alton High School?
Although I'm not an Alton native per se. I was born at Alton Memorial way back in the day, but spent the early years of my life not too far away, but not in Alton. And then in the mid 70s, my mother remarried and moved us to Godfrey, and we transferred into the Alton School District at that point, and graduated in 77, like I said earlier. Went on to college and graduated from SIU in 1982. We were talking about that earlier.
Was it music related? What you studied?
It was not music related. It was actually computers, strangely enough. And I was already working at Halpin's then. I had intended to get a job in the computer field at the time. I still wasn't locked into Halpin's at that point. But the Halpin's, for some unknown reason, saw some promise in me and, made me an offer to stay, and I did. So, not the least of which was because I was also engaged to be married at the time. But
it's a good reason.
In the hand, this is a job, a paying job, and they want me here, so I'll stay. And married later that year as well. My lovely bride and I are still going strong after 43 years.
That's great.
So
that's great. Yeah. A lot of marriages don't last that long anymore.
Well, unfortunately, but, we're very fortunate to be still going strong.
And so you played the trumpet, correct?
I played the trumpet in the school band, and in high school, before I had actually moved to Alton, I had transitioned to tuba, of all things. There's a story to that, but we can bypass that. And but I still play tuba to this day, but I played at Alton High tuba and played in I've had opportunities to play in various things, but I don't really play a lot now. It's a skill that I have that I don't use very much. I also taught myself bass guitar. I do play bass guitar as well. Way back when I first started working at Halpin's, I thought it would be cool to play bass. So, I would sneak off into the showroom there and pull one off the wall and plug it in, and taught myself how to do that.
Did you ever take lessons?
I never did take lessons.
Self-taught.
And I just do it for fun now. It's, just a little hobby for me that I enjoy.
So school's getting ready to start. I know all the children want to hear of that. Probably in about a month or less time.
Less than that.
So is this kind of a busy time for you when kids, they're going back to school and they're going to pick up an instrument maybe, right?
Going to be very soon. A lot of schools are gearing up, having registration this week, I think, here locally. And with that, in just a few weeks' time, we'll be in it for real. And with that comes a new class of students who want to join the band or the orchestra. And so we do have an orchestra program here locally as well. So we're gearing up for that.
Nick Dar here with Big Z Media. Hope you enjoy the episodes of Business Over a Brew, and pleased to have the Riverbend Growth Association as the sponsor of this program. Our missions are kind of the same, really. We're attempting to educate people about business, foster business in the Riverbend community. The Big Z has been a member of the Growth Association forever, probably back to our inception as a company almost. We have always been members of the Growth Association, have gotten a lot of benefits from it. There's so many networking opportunities you can take advantage of. I've met so many great people just because I've been a member of the Growth Association and taken advantage of all the events that they have, plus just some of the resources they provide you, the relationships you build, just lots of great reasons to join the Growth Association. They do a lot of great things in the community as well. They highlight a different nonprofit every month. So really, they're just invested in the community here, and especially the small business community, which is what Business Over a Brew is really all about, which is helping the small business community, because it's so important to any community to have a thriving business community. And the Growth Association has really helped with that. If you want more information about joining or events that might be coming up, they have events all the time that you should definitely take advantage of. I'm going to give you the website to go to. Just head to growthassociation.com. You can get a membership directory. You can see who's taking advantage of it. You can see about the events that are there, learn more about possibly becoming a member. Or if you already are a member, you can find out what's going on with the Growth Association at growthassociation.com. So just again, big thank you to the Riverbend Growth Association for sponsoring Business Over a Brew.
So what's a good age for a child to pick up an instrument, generally speaking?
Well, in the music programs in the schools, it's generally around 4th or 5th grade. So the age of 9 or 10, although the private lessons that we give in the store for the various instruments, that age can be younger by 2 or 3 years, just depends on the child. But in school band, 4th, 5th grade is usually the realm where they're beginning to start.
Yeah, I played violin. We're stretching the meaning of the word played. And I believe back then all the stringed instrument players started in 4th grade, and it seemed as though the band, the woodwinds and the brass all started in 5th grade. So why do they have a year separation for that? Why is that?
I'm not really sure I can fully explain that. I think it was mainly an exposure thing to introduce children to music. I think violin, is an easier instrument to start because it doesn't require wind support, breast support, which, the older a child gets, the better their breath support is. And maybe it was to give them a musical experience, even if they weren't yet playing a wind instrument.
Right.
Now, a lot of kids start in the orchestra, and that's where they stay because they enjoy it, and that's a wonderful thing.
And so, do most school districts have band programs around here? Do they all have them,
Most
or
of them
some
do. There are only a couple of major orchestra programs, one being Alton, the other one being in Edwardsville. But band programs are generally pretty well established in all the school districts locally.
And Alton Youth Symphony is still going strong.
Youth Symphony is still going strong.
Yeah, I was a member.
You
a
were
long
a
time
member.
ago.
I remember you telling me that. And that's a wonderful theater organization that gives kids an opportunity outside the school environment to continue to play.
Yeah, we got to play in some interesting places. We'd be invited to do a little bit of traveling.
Right, you get to do a little
bit
around, take a road trip.
Yeah, we always had Monday night practice at the Alton Band and Orchestra Room at Alton High.
At Alton High, the old
6:30 to 8 p.m. on Mondays.
Yes, I remember that well because that was also the band room.
That's right. And we were talking the other day, so we do recall some of the major movers and shakers back then who were in the program, the conductors. We were very fortunate to have such talented people.
Yes, we had a wealth of talented, passionate individuals leading our ensembles in the Alton schools.
Yeah.
And we still do today. So.
I remember Alton in particular had a very strong program, probably still does. I've lost touch with it, but when I was there were 2 orchestras and 2 bands. I don't know if that is still the case.
I think there actually is probably more than that now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear.
I think they have some like offshoot little ensembles that they run.
And we were talking the other day about some old little ensemble groups they had. I believe they were called the Catnips.
Something like that. I mean, I was not an orchestra person, so but I
it was kind of a jazzy band thing. It was a very small group.
Yeah, that was the jazz.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
And the jazz band at Alton High when I was there was a powerhouse.
Oh, jazz band! I forgot. Thank you for mentioning that. I forgot about jazz band.
Under Pete Pasola, he was there.
Big name in all music.
Bud Schultz. Everybody knows and remembers Bud from his later days, as a musician locally. But he was the band.
And then for orchestra, I knew Larry Krabs. He's still around. And Ken Conradi was involved.
I heard he's still around.
Yep.
Lots of just wonderfully talented individuals that really made this music program what it is.
Well, it's so nice to hear it's going strong. So what advantages are there to kids learning music?
Well, I think the advantages are, I'm not going to say self-evident, but are pretty evident in respect to the types of things that they learn in a musical ensemble. The ideas of teamwork and the ideas of working together to produce something which, and not only that, but the cognitive development individually. There are scientific studies going back literally decades that prove that children that play in an ensemble or take music lessons privately, have a developmental advantage really, because it really hardwires areas of the brain that need to be hardwired, and really kind of leads them, along those things as they develop musically. It also develops them in a lot of other ways cognitively.
So I'm a former long-term sub in the Alton School District.
Okay.
A while back, I had a long-term sub gig, and I had some algebra classes in the morning, and I always wondered why my morning algebra classes were so good compared to the afternoon classes. And I was talking with the teachers in the teachers' lounge, and they said, "Oh, well, that's because band and orchestra is in the afternoon, so those kids are in class in the morning."
Yeah.
So basically, they were telling me the kids that are learning music, they're in some sort of a music program, whatever it is. Generally speaking, they do better at schoolwork.
Yes.
Also,
there are numerous studies that
Yeah.
have established that and confirmed that
So
if you're in a musical ensemble, you're in the right place.
I had the band and orchestra kids in the morning and the non-band and orchestra kids in the afternoon. Not that there weren't good kids,
Of course.
in there. And when I was in orchestra, I have a lot of good memories. There a lot of good kids to hang around with there.
Mm-hmm.
Kids that make good choices, kids that are disciplined. They're disciplined in their music. They're disciplined in their studies.
Yeah. And I can speak personally, when I mentioned earlier that I transferred into the Alton School District in my sophomore year, and I was transferring in from a very rural, very small school district to one that was greater in size that I could have ever imagined, and it was a little daunting at first. Okay, it was
quite a shock.
hard to find my way around at first, but fortunately for me, I found that my haven in the early days was the band room.
Yeah.
And
it's so
all of
true.
my first initial
That is so
friends
true.
were in the band, and that was I'm not sure what would have happened if I hadn't had that.
I remember going to East Junior High School, and before school, you could go into the gym to sit before the bell rang to release you for your class. You could hang out in the lobby, or Mr. Wilcox, who was another big name in alt music. He was the band and orchestra leader at East Junior, later at Wood River. I think he left
the time after he retired, a brief period of time, worked for Halpin Music.
No kidding.
As a roadman.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Musical instruments. Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, and actually he was also in the, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, he also was the conductor or the director of there was a community concert band out at Lewis and Clark.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I was in that group for a while, and it just immensely enjoyed playing under him. He was a great guy to play music for. And
he would
a lot of fun.
He would unlock the band and orchestra room, and we would pile in there and just hang around and hang out until it was time to go to class.
Road trips, that concert band would travel to other local community colleges and put on concerts. Some high schools we went to, and it was a wonderful time. We really enjoyed making music.
I remember IMEA. Is that still around?
It still is. They're still every year in the spring.
We went down to Carbondale, as I recall.
Well, Carbondale, I think that is still a destination in IMEA. But
great!
I think the regions are a little different now than they used to be. They actually have a solo and ensemble contest right here at Alton High every March.
Wow, amazing!
In the spring, and literally hundreds of band students come and have, take their shot to get a Division I rating.
Sounds like there's a lot of opportunity for kids to get involved in music. Generally, we're talking 4th, 5th grade in the Alton district anyway, but parents can always start their kids younger if they feel they want to.
Absolutely.
And the place you can get started is at Halpin. What are some of the products and services you offer there for?
Kind of on the subject of lessons right now, that we have 9 or 10 really talented instructors that teach various instruments: piano, guitar, bass guitar, violin, cello, viola, trumpet. We even have a couple of vocal coaches, if you want to.
For singing as well. Oh my gosh.
So we have private lessons for all of those. If you want to get your child started, before they're old enough for the school programs, we're certainly an avenue that we can help with.
Or if they're already in the school programs, you can get extra help. So that's the thing that I recall was the students who were generally better at music had private lessons.
Well, and that I would certainly encourage that. School programs are, wonderful vehicles to learn a musical instrument, but they do have limitations in terms of the time constraints of
Exactly.
teachers, because they've got a whole ensemble of kids that they need to work with.
There's a lot to be said for the one-on-one.
Sometimes
Yes.
a little lacking. And so, we would encourage students to get that one-on-one instruction from a private lesson environment, which can certainly help them advance musically.
Mm-hmm. And so you sell instruments at Halpin. You have instructors. You do repairs.
We rent musical instruments for all of those different types of lessons that we give, and for the school bands and school music programs that we talked about. We have a wonderful rental program where you can rent the instrument to own, and it's a very simple, very flexible. And it's crazy that I would ever have thought that we would be doing this, years ago, but, you don't even have to even necessarily come into our store. You can do it online now. You go to our website, to our rental page.
That's convenient.
You can rent an instrument online and have it delivered to your child's school. We do that for a lot of the school districts that we service. We offer that.
That's great.
Repair services. Also, if you already have an instrument that's might be in need of some repair or just a little TLC, we can handle that too.
And you don't have to buy a brand new instrument either,
no.
Right? There's lots of used instruments out there.
We have some wonderful used and consigned instruments that are available for sale. I would invite anyone to come in and check those out too.
And on the subject of lessons, not just for kids,
right?
Adults like me. I come down twice a week for.
I was going to use the phrase senior citizens, but
go ahead.
I wasn't really going to point that at you necessarily because I am older than you. So,
stop bragging
myself as well. But that's not. And I hold this firmly as a belief that it is never too old to start to learn a musical instrument.
I agree. I took a class before I retired, and I think it was called 7 Healthy Habits of Successful People.
Right.
And they emphasized touching various different aspects of life in general. Don't concentrate on generally one area. And I can't remember them all, but there was spend time on your spiritual self, spend time meditating, spend time exercising, spend time with whatever religious beliefs you have, spend time socializing with friends. And one of them was music, and reading and things like writing,
reading your horizons.
Yes. But if you touch all of those, you feel like a more complete person, and music is one of those.
Yeah. And it's meant to, expand all of your horizons and music. There's a well-known saying that, music is a universal language, and that's true to a large extent. that can break down barriers that might exist otherwise. It really is that art form. I think that in terms of the way it expresses emotion and meaning, and really you can't really hardly quantify what that does.
You're so right, referring to it as a universal language. You can take a sheet of music and stick it in front of almost anyone in the world who plays that instrument, and they can start playing it.
Yeah. Whether you can speak their language or not, you can communicate through a piece of music. And I firmly believe that.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. So I have to ask this question. What are some of the most unique instruments that you have there?
Well, we had, and we don't have it anymore, but probably the one, we've talked about violins and how they tend to start at an earlier age. Well, violins, as you probably understand, you have the full-size violins for adults like yourself.
Yep.
But when you're a beginning student, and you're, this tall, a full-size instrument isn't going to work. Okay. So, they make fractional size instruments, and anyone who
Yeah.
been around an orchestra, understands all of this. So I won't.
Yeah, I think I had a 3/4 sized for the longest time.
So, but anyone who's familiar with the Suzuki program, which is still going strong at SIU, knows that I mean, tiny, small children start, because it's a by rote thing. Even before you can read, you can play. And we had for the longest time a 1/32 size violin.
Oh my!
Okay, it was like about this long. I kid you not, and it was hanging in our. We have this display of the different sizes of violins hanging on the wall there, and that was the first. And it's this tiny thing, and it's even even the 16th size that was next to it.
Can anybody play that?
It was an actual working musical instrument, and I mean the bow was like this long, and it was, and that got the most comments because people would come in and see that, and oh my gosh,
it was an object of curiosity.
Is that it? Yes, it does actually work, and we sold it in the last year or two to someone who just wanted it as a conversation piece, not because they were going to use it, but it was like put it on the wall, and we've had some interesting homemade instruments, cigar box guitars that
interesting.
These DIY people that do DIY stuff,
and they sound pretty good, right?
Some of them do.
Yeah.
It's definitely you come to realize how complex it really is to build something like that, because you can't just slap some pieces of wood together and put some strings on it. It actually you have to make it to scale, and you have to it all has to be balanced, and everything has to line up just right for it to be in tune with itself, and but we've had some of those, and we've had some rather odd acoustic and bluegrass instruments, over the years, but probably the tiny violin is probably the one that's gotten more conversation than just about anything else.
Oh, wonderful. All right. That just about wraps it up for this week of Business Over a Brew. Is there anything else you want to emphasize here or go over that we haven't covered yet that people need to know about Halpin music?
We've covered a lot of ground this morning, Joe.
Right. So
I just encourage people, particularly the moms and dads out there that have a child that's of age that's going to be, that wants to join the band. We can help them make that experience very, very easily. And we would certainly encourage them to just go to our website, check it out, and give us a call. We have a lot of talented folks there that can help them get started.
And I can vouch for that firsthand. I take piano lessons and guitar lessons there once a week whenever I'm in town. I'm out of town a lot, so I have to cancel a lot, unfortunately, for them. But I tell you, I just want to leave our listeners just with one extra thing here. There's just nothing like making your own music.
No.
You can hear a song that you know well, but to be able to pick up an instrument and actually play a song on your own, making your own music, that's just something I can't describe.
No, I agree.
And if you're not already a player of an instrument, I highly encourage you to try.
Absolutely.
It's not as hard as you think. You don't have to be a concert pianist or a concert violinist.
No,
that's not necessarily the goal, but just having fun making your own music is just.
And even I, as
it's very therapeutic.
CEO, a music store. My only playing outlets are just from my own thumb.
Yeah, it's there's just nothing like it. Making your own music like that.
Wholeheartedly agree, Joe.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Joe, for.
And I'll be seeing more of you because I come in there quite often. And hopefully I'm progressing. So
Well, we have seen.
I need to practice more.
Well, that's kind of like the ongoing thing. You always need to practice more, no matter who you are or what you do. You always need to practice.
And a phrase I'm reminded of from a former supervisor of mine is do routine things routinely.
Mm-hmm.
And that would include practicing your craft.
Practicing.
Just make sure you do it often, and you will get better at whatever it is.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for coming by.
Joe.